So I looked through Google Maps and checked out all the areas that were kind of vacant or areas where somebody could, meet somebody or take somebody into and, kidnap them or even um, do something to them. So here's this park that's kind of nearby. You could probably get there from her house to this part. It's probably like maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So she could have stopped by, had somebody, um, met her, and they could have done something to her here at this place because there these little roads. It goes all the way back. I mean, it was kind of closed off, but you still drive through it. It says authorized personnel, I think it said, and but you can still make it through. And then if you kind of go into one of like these roads lead into other roads that kind of go into the, I guess you could call it little like forest or into the tree area. And as you guys could see there on the drone footage, there's a bunch of stuff back there where you could, just pile things on top of a body, or if you want to like hide evidence or something, you can just throw it back there. So the question is, what could have happened to her? Now, it doesn't really leave too much time for somebody to do something to her. It's about a 10 to 15 minute window that somebody has because the car was seen about 7:30 closer to Big Sur when it crosses that general store. So if we kind of take that into account, and also the way she's dressed too, it's because at first I used to think, well, I was thinking maybe somebody kind of lured her out, like maybe wanted to do a photo shoot with her car, and she went out there. But the fact that she was still planning to go to work, I it seems like she was planning to go to work. She didn't call in, and I don't know if she was gonna just ditch work, but it seems kind of weird. It almost seems like she's dressed where she's gonna meet somebody she knows, and then come right back home and change for work. Because if this is just about 10 minutes away, and she's just meeting somebody just to maybe get something from them or just talk to them real quick, she could still make it back home and then to work. I think her work was only about like 10 minutes also. So this place, I checked a lot of places on Google Maps, and there's a few places that somebody could do something. Have somebody meet them there and do something to them. But the 10 to 15 minute window makes it seem like it was planned, but also um, whatever happened had to happen quick. So if somebody set her up and their plan to take her or kill her, just had to be pretty quick. And then whoever, it had to be more than two, maybe more than one person for sure, maybe two, possibly three. But somebody had to drive her car and leave it off in Big Sur, which makes the law enforcement draw all their search efforts down there. So I don't even know if law enforcement searched this area or the areas that I searched. There's a few. After this one, I think I got closer to the airport, so I wasn't able to fly my drone over. But you guys will see it because I kind of walk around. So I do believe the car was left at Big Sur on purpose so that law enforcement would focus down there as opposed to these areas, which were kind of closer to her house. Not Now, like I said, I'm not sure if law enforcement did go through here, but this should have been some of the first areas that along with the Big Sur, search along the coast. These areas should have been searched also because the whatever happened, it couldn't have been too far from the route that takes you from Salinas over to Big Sur because it doesn't leave that much time for her. And then let's just say she did drive all the way down to Big Sur. She still had to meet somebody, but it's really risky because there's always people just kind of visiting that area. So there's always people driving by. I know if you look back on Google Maps and you go back in time to 2022, which is when she disappeared, you guys will see a lot of construction trucks, and you'll see a lot like there's still vehicles, coming around. So I'm sure there's somebody had to have a dash cam. So I don't know if you're watching this and you were around Big Sur around September 2022. You guys should try to look back at your photos or your dash cam. If you guys do see something, make sure you guys report it to law enforcement. That way they could kind of check it out. Also, I feel like if you're in this park, just take a look around when you're hiking through this park or you're biking. Take a look, under the trees or just somewhere in these, vacant areas. Or if you work here too. I know I saw a few workers. When I went through the gate, there was nobody at the gate. So I'm wondering if that gate ever gets tended to, like somebody there at the little booth as you're coming in. So who knows about that? But it's kind of interesting how these areas are kind of close by, and we kind of know that whatever happened had to happen quick. And we do know that her car ended up in Big Sur, so it's almost like it just seems to me like it's luring, like um, whoever did anything to her is luring law enforcement over to the beach, right? Because why would they leave the car there? And they could have driven it farther out, but then I know there had to be somebody else possibly following. So this spot was interesting. It's kind of close to the racetrack, and it's just like about maybe a mile or two from that park that we just explored. So if you look down, this has a lot of little roads also. A lot of these areas have small little dirt roads that don't seem to be they don't seem to be driven on often. So if you look back here, and this is on a Sunday, so I came down here on a Sunday on a holiday. So you could kind of see people golfing back there, but I doubt any of the people golfing back there even noticed me back here. They just figured it was just a car passing by. So if somebody were to bring somebody down here, they probably wouldn't be noticed. And especially there's a little road back here. You'll see it because they start walking down it. You'll see me get it off right now. I tried looking behind the rocks and under like shrubs just to see if there's any clues or anything suspicious back there. It seems like an area where people kind of dump things back there too, so not sure how often the maintenance people go back there. But look at that, like overgrown shrubbery. They can easily hide something back there. So it's kind of weird though, because about this area here, you can see the phone kind of acting up, like it was my phone camera, which I always use, and it doesn't do that. But see how it's like I'm not even sure how it's really doing that. Yeah, it was acting up. The sound was off, and then it was cutting little parts off. So I don't know why that was. And it was just in this little area. Though later on, you'll see another little clip I film up a road, and it doesn't do this. So it's kind of weird. Now somebody left all this stuff right there. I'm not sure if that's just people dumping trash or what. But you guys can see if somebody's dumping trash there, that means there's not that many people in this area, so that these people kind of get away with dumping all this crap there. So that's horrible. People are just leaving their bags instead of dumping it somewhere in a trash can. But so anyway, you can see how It's a bit dense. I mean, even if you kind of fly over it, you probably wouldn't notice too much, just because of the shrubberies and the shrubs and the bushes and all the trees and stuff. So it's kind of hard to see things. You'd have to get really close. Which again, I'm not sure if the law enforcement searched this area also. And I couldn't fly my drone over this area because I was too close to the airport, so it was restricted by the FAA. So I couldn't. I gotta follow the rules. So I did notice these weird-looking mounds over here. You guys will see them. I did go on them, but see, they cut off when I did go and explore them, and I kind of dug a little bit in them. But for some reason, the camera phone kind of cut off. See how it cuts off? I see my footprints are already on there, so I went and checked them. I didn't really see anything. I didn't want to just start digging into them, but I didn't notice anything strange inside of them. But they're interesting. You never know. It's good to check everything out. A bunch of trash there. So, and I moved on to the next spot. So you guys can tell me what you guys think about this theory. So there's another road that leads to Big Sur, so you don't technically have to continue the main road that it takes you on. It's the secondary route, and that one's a little lonelier. So if they took that route, of course there wouldn't be any kind of footage back there. So I pulled over on one of these turnouts, and look at this. There's like people just dumping stuff all over the place. They could dump pretty much anything back here, it seems like. And they get away with it because it's a lonely road for the most part. I'm sure it's lonelier during the week, but even, like I said, this was a holiday and it's a Sunday. And there is people passing by. You can kind of hear the cars passing by, but yeah, it's pretty lonely back here. So I don't know. These little turnouts, I mean, and especially since we're talking about a 10 to 15 minute window, and whether they kidnapped her, they could have, in 10, 15 minutes, you might be able to get away with like grabbing somebody or tasing them or, doing something where they're knocked out and then loading them into like another vehicle and then taking their vehicle somewhere else to where law enforcement wouldn't search. So I don't know if you're around this area or you live in this area, take a look, make sure nothing, nobody was dumped back here or anything. But I just found out about the case, so it's kind of sad to think I would have came out sooner had I known. But it's kind of weird how it wasn't really publicized. So hopefully we could find some answers soon.